Guys, welcome. This is GL Word, JR. I want to speak to you about end times. End times. It's one of those themes that makes big bucks. America, films, books, plays, made loads of money off talking about end times. We've seen blockbusters in Hollywood thinking about, demonstrating how it might end. Is it going to be a meteor? If we're going to freeze to death? Is it aliens? You know, we've got all these kind of guesses. I suppose in church, we also think about end times, and you hear a lot of sermons about the end times. You hear about us receiving some sort of chip. We hear about the AntiChrist. A lot of things that really I would term as woes. They're not things that make you excited. They're things to probably make you more afraid. Can I say that? Things to make you think, you know what, it's going to get dark. It's going to get difficult. Are we in the last days? Yes, I say we are. Peter said this was said by the prophet Joel. In the last days, God will pour out his spirit on his sons and daughters. He said that in 2:17, quoting the prophet Joel. And he said that concerning Christ, that could only happen after Christ. So really and truly, we've been in the last days since Christ came. Christ also said that earthquakes, war, famine is the beginning of the pains, not signs of the end. Check out for yourself. Can I offer you a perspective though on end times? Because a lot of this feeds into our fears and it makes money for many people as well. And he's not saying it's not true, but there's another way of looking at the end. Because when I ask Christian what the end times are about, we'll talk about that. But the book of Revelation gives us something else that's going to happen at the end. It's called the marriage supper. Have you heard that before? Revelation, I believe it's Revelation 16:9. Now I don't want to be telling you porky, so I'm just going to double check. Revelation, let's have a look. See, it's a good thing I checked. Revelation 19, 6-10. See, I ain't going to give you nonsense. Revelation 19, 6-10 talks about the marriage supper with the Lamb. The bride finally meeting the groom. And we see shadows of it earlier on when Jesus was alive. And one of those shadows that we see is the Lord's Supper. Now when I go to church and we have Lord's Supper, many of the times we're talking about remembering Christ in his death, remembering what he did for us. We're coming together, we're one. Because Christ said, do this in remembrance of me, and he held up the cup of wine. But in the early church, when they did the Lord's Supper, they was thinking about when he was coming back. Because they thought he was coming back straight away. Now we're 2,000 plus years later and he still hasn't come. So they turned it round and used it to remember his death. But I want to bring that back and say to you, know something. When we have communion, Lord's Supper, Eucharist, whatever you want to call it, remember that Christ is coming. The end time is not the Antichrist. That's not the pinnacle of the end time. The pinnacle of the end time is when Christ comes. The second coming is the end. I can't really make it any more clearer than that. When he first was here, that was the start of the last days. And when he comes again, that's the end of the last days. So our focus should be on Christ. If you focus on all this other stuff, I'm not saying it's not there. Watch news. If you watch the news long enough, you know how much woes and negative and how much bad things are going on. But focus on the marriage supper. If you know Christ, there's going to be a day when the bride's going to sit with the groom and just rejoice and know why we had to go what we went through. We're here preparing, we're here getting ready, and I want to meet the groom. The groom is coming and we're going to meet him. End times, it's about Christ, not the Antichrist. Is there going to be Antichrist? Yes. In what fashion or form? you got all sorts of people who are telling you all sorts of things, and I've got my own theories. I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to say Christ, Alpha, Omega, beginning and the end. So when I say end times, that's what I'm talking about. I'm done. Think about it. Check it out for yourself. As I had to check it out when I was giving you that scripture. Got to do your homework. I pray you do, and I pray you're blessed, and that you even look at the Lord's Supper differently when you take it next time. I'm out. This is JR. This is GR Word, provoking you to righteousness. God bless you and yours till I see you again.